Okay, there it is. That was the reveal of the song. And thank you, Kevin Kendrick, District Governor of 7680 North Carolina. We are honored to have you here. Thank you so much. And I will say thank you for joining us. Before we get into the meeting, I just want to formally also introduce our former president, Dr. Pauline Crawford, our former past president, Marty Mongello. We got our president-elect, Coach Ritu here. We have Kay Wallace. We got Aaron Myers. We got Doris Elaine, who is an advisor. We also have, oh my God, new members. We got David Lynn. Congratulations for being the Paul Harris Ruby to Ruby. That's amazing. Quanta Dawn Light, who's our peace counselor here. We got Stormy Mongello, who is just amazing. She's forget it. She's gonna make a change in the world because she is running for commissioner in North Carolina in Kings Mountain. So with all ado, here we go. Kevin Kendrick, over to you.
Oh, thank you. Wow. This is great. I am not sure how to share my screen.
Okay, so there is an arrow at the bottom, and yeah, and I just want to make sure that our Clubhouse people can hear. Can we hear Clubhousers? Everybody's good there on Clubhouse?
Hearing just well, I'm not on Clubhouse.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah, it's good. I can hear you on Clubhouse also.
Okay, awesome. Kevin, do you see the little arrow there?
I do. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing the presentation that I brought up. Let me try this again. Okay, let's try this. I'll go back out, go back in and see. Yeah, when I bring up window, it doesn't bring up the presentation, and I've got it open.
How about full screen?
When the window comes up, you actually have to then click inside the window with what you want to present. Like a dialog box will come up, and then inside there, you click inside the dialog box.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it kind of gives him the choice, like present full screen, present an individual window, or just present, a tab. And do we have a copy of his presentation?
No, but I think what I'll do is I will email it to you, Marty.
Oh, that's perfect. I can present it for you.
Then we can go that way.
I just wanted to say, while we're doing that, election season is upon us for November this year, and we're looking at the year after Ritu. So Ritu is 2025 through 2026, and elections are being held for district as well as this club for the year after that. So 2026 through 2027. If you have a message, if you have a video, if you have goals of how you would lead this club, you can just turn those into the leadership for election day is coming up in November.
Okay.
Let's check that email.
I am gonna, Marty, for some reason, I am not bringing up your email, so I am going to.
I think the popular one is Marty, M-A-R-T-I.
Yeah, I don't know.
Patriots.com.
Hang on for 1 second. I'm going to send this to. All right. This is.
Okay, and any other club business that we can knock out while we're working on this, guys?
Well, Aaron is going to be joining us now that he's a little bit more settled down. I know you've been all over the place, Aaron, and we're excited that we are on the back burner. We've been talking already about continuing our Dare to Spare campaign for orphan kids, and we are planning to do a little bit more with that. Aaron, go take it away.
Well, I think Patty and I talked about this about a month ago, or we actually would originally were talking about doing Dare to Spare. She had an idea we should partner with Rotary and Toys for Tots. And I was thinking this year, since we're approaching the holiday season, we could do Dare to Spare and partner with Toys for Tots. We do a drive and then, give it to Toys for Tots. This time, last time we were doing it for an orphanage in Ukraine. But this year, I think with all the stuff that's travesties that are going on in the world, we've been spending a lot of time and effort on international humanitarian aid when there's a lot of people right down the street that need help as well. And this year, I'd like to focus on our local communities because in the past few years.
And also, Aaron, we did come to the conclusion of the delivery part. That became such a part.
Yes.
That was the biggest part of our problem, and we figured, what, Toys for Tots, they already have this. They already have the delivery part, and they just need the gathering part. So we could be boots on the ground with that, and I feel like we could do more outreach with that, and at the same time share about our club. And then we have opportunities to again go ahead and make more partnerships, because that's how you get discovery, right? When you're doing things like this, you get more discoveries. So that's something really exciting. And I'm also excited to share a different matter that, we continue to contribute to the Polio Plus. We are having 100% of our members be contributors, but we are getting members so quickly that, we got to go back and continue to fill in those gaps. However, that's really, really exciting that we're doing that. I also am representing Rotary, our Rotary Club, and an event called Light the Nights, and that's for Leukemia Lymphoma Society. So that's a second annual. So that's really exciting. And what else are we're doing? We're doing this, we're doing that, but those are a couple things at the top of my mind. Anybody else?
Well, speaking of polio, there's been an outbreak in Gaza, and I know when we had talked about doing something for Gaza in the past, none of the solutions were really in our wheelhouse. But as far as polio, clean water, clean hands, that's something that's needed there, and that is definitely in our wheelhouse. We can discuss that at a later time, but some type of anything, clean water, something that we could do to help prevent the spread of polio there would, because as always, it's affecting children. So
yeah, I think one of the challenges that we ran into, they recommended that we work with clubs. When we contacted Rotary International, they recommended we work with clubs that are very close to the area that are currently in there. And so it sounds like kind of the same thing we did with hundreds of thousands of dollars, over 300,000 of stuff that we put into Ukraine, working with a lot of the clubs who became overwhelmed in Poland, but then shifting into when we started working with Alexander Mueller of the Maritime Ocean Club in Germany, and even Moldova. And you remember all this, Aaron. We started to hit all the countries around them and get off of Poland, because we were getting reports back from Poland. People were getting divorced, missing their mortgages. It was just that bad, I'm not getting any email, it seems, Kevin.
Marty, it just left. It's a large file. It's 16 megs, but you should be getting it.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that bad. It shouldn't be that bad at all for that to come through. But then just a quick financial update for everybody on behalf of International Treasurer Vincent James in Canada. All of the financials for our club are online for our new members 24 hours a day, as is our constitution and bylaws are online. You can read our financials. We also have all of the director's expenses and all of the president's expenses are all online. So anybody that is interested, just go online to our website anytime under documents. We have just over $2,000 in the club. So we have quite a bit of money again now. And we have for membership, I'd like to do that with Quanta. Quanta really has been a strong driving force for membership. Quanta, did you just want to talk a little bit about membership today as the membership chairperson with me? We're kind of working together, Quanta and I.
Patty, I sent this to you as well.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
Quanta,
Okay.
did we lose you? Are you still there? Let me see. Yeah, she is still there. Okay, well, I'll just jump in and do it then. Quanta has been such a driving force, and we've brought a lot of people in. We have probably at least 8 new members in the past. No, Quanta, we cannot hear you. We have at least 8 new members in the past 2.5 months. We have 2 more on the board today on DAC-DB. One we're going to send the bill to immediately because he's pretty much ready. And then Dr. Elise from Australia, a very well-noted psychotherapist and #1 best-selling author, just asked to join last night. So actually her welcome letter is going out right now, Madam President.
Oh, great. Okay, I'm excited. I got the slides up, so I'll go ahead and share my screen.
Great.
Okay, let's see. We got Windows. Let me see. Where is my slide? Oh man, hold on. Where? I can't find my slide either. That's funny.
Yeah, I know. That's weird that it's not coming up at all in the window.
Okay. Alrighty. Select to share. Okay, you know what? I'll just do entire screen then because it will probably be the best way to do it. Hopefully we don't lose anybody, but let me just go over there and just go ahead. Do you guys see this?
Great, super.
Okay. Okay, so we'll go over to I don't know how to go just to the slide itself. Let me do slideshow.
Yeah, slideshow.
There we go. Yay.
Great.
Okay. All
My
right.
apologies. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, well, I'll talk later then. Kevin, go ahead.
Great.
Okay.
Well,
Well, first of all, sorry for the technical difficulties, but I just want to say thank you, Patty, Marty, all of you for what you're doing. You really are a unique concept within Rotary, and it's one that is working well. You guys are doing an awesome job. I appreciate everything that you're doing, and I love the energy. I absolutely love the energy that I feel in the room with everything that you're doing. So on behalf of the district, thank you for your service. You're doing great stuff all around the world, and that is truly having a global impact. So thank you. If we can go to the next slide.
oh.
Yeah, it moves quickly. So this is, of course, our Rotary International president, Stephanie Yurchik. Stephanie is just an incredible woman. She is only the second woman to lead Rotary in the 117 plus years that we've been in existence. And it's amazing. When you hear her speak, I had the honor of hearing Stephanie speak to all of our district governors at the International Assembly, and she tells you exactly what she's feeling in her heart. She speaks clearly, she speaks directly, and she speaks honestly. One of the things that she talks about is establishing the importance of belonging in our clubs. It's more than just getting people to become members of your club. It's actually making them feel as if they belong. And you do that by including them in everything that you're doing, including them in committee assignments and giving them responsibilities within the club. So she talks about that, and I love this quote of hers, the very end of it, where she says, "To me, belonging is the spark that ignites the magic of Rotary." Now, the magic of Rotary, of course, is our theme for this year, and you can see it in the bottom right-hand corner of the slide. That's the official theme for Rotary this year. And Stephanie shared with us how she came up with the magic of Rotary. she shared that she was on a project, a service project in the Dominican Republic many years ago. And they were actually installing water in this community that had not had running water. There were 3 little boys in this one home that she was in, and they had the water going, it was coming out of the pipes, but they had to shut it down to change the filters. And when they did that, one of the little boys tugged at Stephanie's arm and said, "Ma'am, please make the magic happen again." And she said it was just a heartfelt moment for her. It was at that moment when she realized that, you know what, everything we're doing as Rotarians is probably going to be magic for someone. So I hope you all keep that in mind as you go about your service activities in your communities and throughout the world, that what we do really is magic. So Stephanie also said that if we want to make our clubs irresistible, we should utilize the action plan. And if you go to the next slide, Patty.
Yeah, I was trying to put my thing on mute and I
Oh, no
accidentally-
worries, no worries, no worries at all.
Okay.
You're doing better than I did.
Okay.
So she wants clubs and districts, quite frankly, to become action plan champions. Now, if you can just build this one click at a time and just the first 4 clicks. So these are the action plan is simply a framework for, and then one more.
Okay.
Great, thank you. The action plan is simply a framework for how clubs can operate, and districts. These are the 4 buckets of activities that Stephanie wants us to operate within. She wants us to increase our impact as clubs. She wants us to think about how we expand our reach as clubs. Enhancing participant engagement is really all about, it's an internal measure. How are we treating our members? How are we listening to them? And then as a club, as a district, increasing our ability to adapt. Now, you have a lot of latitude in how you address these, but what I'm going to put up here next are just some examples of what you as a club can do to achieve these objectives, these 4 objectives. So if you'll hit the next one click, Patty, under increase our impact. Conducting community assessments is always a good idea, no matter where you are or what project it is you're involved in. Conducting a community assessment is a great way to determine a method of increasing your impact. Learning about the needs in a community that you're hoping to assist with whatever project it is. But another way to increase your impact is to seriously think about a district or a global grant. Now, you all have been contributing to the annual fund over the years. You would be eligible for a district grant. Now, you know, district grants come back to our district as a result of annual fund contributions that you all have made over the years. They're invested for 3 years. The money comes back to the district in the form of a block grant. 50% of that is dedicated for district grants. 50% of that goes to the World Fund for global grants. So I would urge you to consider thinking about a particular district grant that you might want to apply that the money that you've actually given over the past 3 years to the annual fund. And that could be something for Patty, Marty. I would encourage you to maybe even look at establishing a committee that could examine district grant opportunities. Under expanding our reach, if you can click on that, Patty. Telling compelling stories about how your club is making a difference. That is really important. I think as a whole, Rotary does not do, we don't do like image, public relations, marketing as well as we should. We are doing some wonderful things. We need to tell our stories better. And this isn't about your club. This is about us in general. I think in general, Rotary does not do a very good job of telling our stories. Enhancing participant engagement. You can click that one. Focus on gaining new members and on delivering value, asking members what they want. This is something that should be done every single year, figuring out what is it that members want to do. This is how we make it inclusive. This is how we establish belonging, when we listen to what it is that our members want to do. And then you really want to encourage the members to use the Learning Center. If you have not been to the Learning Center, it's a wonderful, wonderful training platform and learning platform. They are adding new topics in there every single day. If you don't have a My Rotary account, I would encourage you all to get one. Explore what's in the Learning Center. They have topics just under a variety of subjects. So please do that. Under increasing your ability to adapt, contacting other organizations, look at them, work with them to figure out how you can do more when you combine your resources. That gives you a more adaptability. And of course, establishing a continuity plan is another good way. You all are doing a wonderful job in continuity with Marty, and then Pauline, and now Patty, and now Ritu. This is fantastic. I love that you have that in place. So thank you for doing that. Next slide. So I'm going to just share with you this fact that about 3 years ago, Rotary did a survey of all its members, and these were two of the questions that they asked. Why did you join Rotary? Why did you stay? Obviously, there were more than two questions, but it's really interesting why people say they joined Rotary, and then why they stayed. They got about 70,000 responses to this question, which is a really good survey return. So if you can click on the next slide. And now I'm going to ask you to click one thing at a time here. Look at community service here. So under community service, 23% said that's why they joined, 26% said that's why they stayed. And then the next click, please. International service, same thing, 14% why they joined. It goes up by 3% for why they stayed. So clearly, service is a reason for people joining and more of a reason for them staying. But here's the one that really grabbed me. Next click, please, Patty. Friendship. Friendship. 17% said that's why they joined. But 9% more, 26% said that's why they stayed Rotarians. And interestingly, if you click the next one, professional connections goes down from 14% to 10%. So it's the service, it's the friendship, it's the camaraderie that causes people to join Rotary, but is even more important for them to stay. Next slide. So, and then if you can click the next thing. These three things are really this is the stuff that drives us. When we are doing our thing out in the communities that we serve in and live in, that is Rotary at work. And it's that Rotary at work that the public can see. So that really is all about branding. It's about marketing. It's about advertising who it is that we are. That drives membership. And when you have more members, you have greater giving to the foundation. So this is so important to how we do business. These three things they work in concert with one another. When we are able to do projects in the community, because of the district grants that you've received, you're able to do better branding. So it's all related and all interdependent. Next slide. So your club, when you look at your club, first of all, I will say attrition is real. 15%. That's what clubs are going to lose every year. So keep that in mind as you're looking at your membership. But when you all started 22-23, you had 25 members. As of July 1st, your numbers, according to Club Central, were at 21. But right now, your numbers in DAC to B say you're at 29. So you've added 8 members officially since that time, since July 1st, which is fantastic. But I want to share with you the best reason for growing membership I have ever heard. I was at the International Convention in Singapore earlier this year, and it was fantastic, of course. Singapore is a beautiful, beautiful country. But I heard John Hugo say something at the convention there. He was talking about why is it, he was having a conversation with a vice president at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And we all know the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is one of the largest foundations in the world. They don't just write checks to people because they're nice people. You have to have a fairly good reason for them to support you. Well, he asked a question of this vice president at the Gates Foundation. Why is it that the Gates Foundation continues to support Rotary? They've done so for the past 10 years or more. Why is it you continue to support Rotary at the rate of 2 to 1 for our global polio eradication initiative? And here's the deal. Rotary has to agree to commit $50 million every year. If we commit $50 million to it, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation will commit $100 million. It is a 2 to 1 match. We do 50 million, they do 100 million. And John's question was really, why is it that you do this? And he said, it's simple. It's because you have 1.2 million members who can get the job done. It's as simple as that. It's all about capacity. And when you have a funding organization like the Gates Foundation looking at your capacity to do a job, that was really insightful for me. It is absolutely the best reason I've ever heard for growing membership. So next slide. This statement here, diverse club membership. The club's membership should represent a cross-section of the businesses, professions, occupations, and civic organizations in its community, including age, gender, and ethnic diversity. That actually comes from every club's standard club constitution. That is what every club's constitution says, that we should look like the communities we serve. So as you look at your demography, one of the things that really stands out is you have 21 females as compared to only 7 males, which is really interesting. That is actually the absolute opposite of what most clubs have. So you are really knocking it out of the park in terms of having females in your club. I may suggest to you that you may want to focus on recruiting a few more males, because most of our communities are actually 50-50. So you may want to take a look at that. But I just love the fact that y'all have flipped the script on this, which is a good thing.
I have never heard that before in the history of Rotary. That is a
right,
first.
Right, David? Because it's never happened. We've got a couple of clubs that are about 50-50, but for this to be what it is now, that's really that's impactful. So next slide, please.
Oh, I love it.
I love it too. This is your impact from a Rotary Foundation perspective. So you can see over the past few years, under that middle column, annual fund contributions, y'all have you've made a few contributions. You have 21, 22, you've got 1,000, you've got almost 2,000 in 22, 23, again almost 2,000 in 23, 24, and about almost $500 so far in 24, 25. Your per capita giving has been about $70 over the past couple of years. It'll probably get up to that point again this year. So I would encourage you, you've got 3 years of investments in the annual fund. Again, this is more justification for you to consider at least applying for a district grant at some point. because this money will come back to the district, and you should apply for that part of it that is rightfully yours. So thank you for your contributions. If you click one more time, I would ask Patty, if you could go in, and you'll see on the far left, there's no goal set for annual fund in 2014.
No, I was just seeing. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm guilty.
No.
I already have a number in my head. Okay, this you will see by the end of the week.
That is fine.
I'm being held accountable right now, everybody. I'm saying it publicly. You will
Patty,
see all the projections on there.
Patty, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal at all. It's just something that, I'm asking clubs to do. Most clubs haven't done it. So don't feel bad about this at all. This is just my ask. If you can go in and set one for Polio Plus and for your annual fund, that would be great. Those are in Club Central. If you have any issues doing that, let me know. I can certainly help you out with that.
Well, Kevin, not to interrupt you, but I just wanted to say this. We do put our money where our mouth is. And, if we are going to claim to be an action club, then I got to put the work in. So thank you for calling me out on that one.
No, this isn't about calling anybody out. I'm just thankful for the work that you're doing. So
no, I'm thankful.
This is housekeeping. That's all.
Good.
I didn't see any CART contributions for your club. Do you all participate in CART?
Totally not, and completely forgot about it. And we heard a presentation, and again, we're just, there's just so much. It's like a kid in the candy store.
Yep.
However, now you're bringing it back to attention, and this is something that I'd like to go back and review, and even watch our own presentation that we had last year while Pauline was president. We had a beautiful guest talk about it. So, or it might have been when Marty was. Time flies, but we definitely would like to look into it again. But go ahead and let us know a little bit more.
Patty, I was going to say, we have a bucket at the headquarters. People are throwing money in it.
Oh, cool.
It's starting to get a little scary because it's out in the open. I might want to get that money together, and I'll send it in to wherever they tell me.
Perfect.
Great. Marty, I can give you the address for that. It's going to Sumter, South Carolina. That's kind of where it all goes. But yeah, CART is the Coins for Alzheimer's Research Trust. It's growing around North America. There are more clubs participating in it, and they use this money to fund smaller research scientists who are involved in trying to figure out how we address Alzheimer's. And they awarded $1.2 million in 3 research grants last year, which is fantastic based on the contributions. And every single dime that is contributed to CART goes toward those grants. There's no overhead for this. 100% of it goes toward funding research for Alzheimer's. And it's just a fantastic program. I'm also happy to announce that I just found out last week they are moving the annual meeting location from South Carolina to Charlotte beginning next year. So we're going to have the annual meeting here in Charlotte, and I'm happy that we're going to be able to host them for that. That's when they make the announcements as to who the recipients are for the awards. So it'll be an exciting time for us, June of next year. Next slide, please. So PIPR. Now, this is something where I am just so impressed with what you are. You got a great website. You've got your Rotary Club up there, and you've got good information. But here's the deal: your LinkedIn account is fantastic. This is something that I'm asking clubs to do, because businesses don't necessarily go to Facebook or X or Insta. They do go to LinkedIn. So I was thrilled to see that you all had a LinkedIn. Yes, completely agree, Marty.
Do you subscribe to our newsletter, Kevin?
I don't think I do.
Well, I'm going to send you a link.
Thank you, please. But here's the deal.
Kevin,
I'm asking clubs.
Kevin, can you all hear me? I'm going to interject here.
Go ahead, Peter.
I can tell you without any hesitation that this club has the best PIPR online presence of any club I've encountered.
Yeah.
I
Not just,
echo that. I
not just in
second
my
that.
zone or area, but I mean, district-wide and internationally that I've seen. This is outstanding. It is the gold standard.
So who does your PI? Marty, do you do the PIPR?
Actually, I can't take credit for it. We have our international 2024 PR God. He's our DIPO. He lives in Bangladesh. We work together as a team, and then we have several associates from Mangello Associates, like Patty is a PR goddess, and Ritu. We actually have about 5, 6, 8 people on PR who are maniacs. So I'm just like one spoke in a little wheel.
Well, kudos to you all, every member on the team, whoever had anything to do with setting up this LinkedIn account. This is great stuff. It really is. So
We also get really amazing guest speakers.
yeah, except for today.
You know, can I just add that it's really about the collaboration, though. This is where together we all rise, because Istiak obviously builds it, right? Marty does a lot of the back end work as well. Ritu gets the engagement, but it's about the sharing. Like once something's out on social, whether, you know, we all support each other. We all support each other. And that's what Rotary is about. It's about one hand washing the other and both hands wash the face.
Love it. Love it. I absolutely love it. You know, I may, if you all don't mind, I may ask you to, if it's possible, as we look at district conference, put something together that we could utilize at district conference, a presentation on how you do PIPR, because I agree with Peter. When I looked at this, it was like, man, y'all are so far ahead of our clubs and where our clubs should be. I just love what you're doing. So
I'm all in, but could we use our Rotary Club song for this year?
yeah, I tell you, that's better than most of the Rotary songs I've heard. So yeah, you got to send that to me too. I love it.
Absolutely.
If you could click the next one. Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, I just wanted to share with you all, like I am a placeholder, as are all district governors. This is a very temporary thing. It's an honor to serve in this role, but I wanted to let you know that you've got really great district leadership coming up. The person who's going to replace me is Donna Moffitt. She's a member of the North Mecklenburg County Rotary. She's a fantastic woman. She has been a Rotarian for 34 years, and she's forgotten more about Rotary than I will ever know. So you're going to be in wonderful hands. The year following her, Jerry Cotter from the Big Charlotte Club will become the district governor. Again, a wonderful person. Of course, your immediate past district governor was Deb Corbett from the Mech South Club. And because I've talked about membership and the foundation and PIPR, just wanted you to know who the district leaders are in that position. We've got past district governor Mike Walker, who's our district membership chair. Cam Chandon, past district governor, is our district foundation chair, and Mark Daniels is the district PIPR chair. Next slide. So, and you can click this one about 4 times, I think. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, those numbers are kind of funky.
Let me go back.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's.
Let me go back one. Okay.
Okay. It's hard to see those, but you can see that for the past 4 years, we were kind of hemorrhaging members, 2531 to 2272 to 2200 to 2180. And then under PDG Deb's leadership, we turned that around last year, where we netted out 42 members last year. Stephanie has issued some challenges for all of the district governors around the world. One of those being initiating at least 4 new clubs, whether they're Rotaract Impact or Rotaract, growing each district by at least 100 new members, and growing our Rotaract footprint. We're actually making progress in each of those areas. We've initiated, thanks to Peter and some folks in the Shelby area, we've initiated a new Impact Club there. And an Impact Club, for those of you who don't know it, is simply a satellite club that works under the umbrella of a larger host club. They typically, most impact clubs meet only for service projects or social events or a combination of both. And we're happy to have 4 such impact clubs within the district now. We are probably right now about plus 45 members, so we're on a good path. And we do have a new Rotaract chairperson for the district in the person of Rocky Cabignot from the Salisbury Club. So next slide. We had some foundation goals from our Rotary Foundation chair, including increasing our Rotary direct donors by 10%, increasing our Polio Plus Society by 50%, raising awareness of the Paul Harris Society. And the Paul Harris Society, of course, is when you make a commitment to donate $1,000 every year to the Paul Harris or to the Rotary Foundation. There's the Paul Harris Fellow. That's when you donate one time and you become a Paul Harris Fellow. You may become a multiple Paul Harris Fellow. I know some of you are, but the society is when you say, I'm going to make a commitment to donate $1,000 every year. And that's a big leap. We have actually increased the number of Paul Harris Society members in the district by 43 thus far this year. So we're way ahead of that. And then one of the other goals was forming a team to conduct a $1 million event, which we have done. We have a team of 1. If you can hit the next slide. Polio Plus Society, I should go back a little bit and share that the Polio Plus Society is when you make a commitment as an individual, not as a club, but as an individual, to donate $100 a year to Polio Plus. And we've got actually more than 76 members now. The 365 Club is when you agree to donate $1 a day to the annual fund. It results in recurring giving, which is what actually helps your club and actually helps the annual fund by saying, you know what, I'm going to give $1 a day. It'll take you 2.5 years to become a Paul Harris Fellow at that rate. This is something that's in between what we called every Rotarian every year, where you give $100 a year, and donating $1,000 every year to become a Paul Harris Fellow. This kind of falls in the middle, but it does set up the more important goal of providing a mechanism for recurring giving. Next slide. And this is our one-man team. You can click this twice. Mark Marcanda is he was actually our first district governor in 7680, and Mark has agreed to work on a $1 million campaign for me this year. He texted me last night and said he's up to about $600,000 for this year, which is great. That's all money that's going to be earmarked for the foundation, and it's good for the district too, by the way.
Wow.
Next slide.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm really just blessed. Mark has actually raised money for every district governor going back to PDG Nico.
Wow.
We have a district PIPR page, including this website here, which you can locate at rotary7680.org. We have if you click on that, I don't know if we do have a district Facebook page as well, when it's not being taken down by Meta.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's gosh, it's happening all over North America for whatever reason.
Yeah, elaborate on that a little bit more, please.
I wish I could tell you, Aaron, other than we've been in constant contact with our public image folks in the zone, and they said it's a recurring problem. Meta is really vague about why they are taking certain Facebook posts from Rotary clubs and Rotary districts down. What they've said is there's been some indication that some of it is copyright infringement with materials that are being used, and they've just been really non-specific, and we have to keep recreating these. One of the things that we did here was we really limited the number of people who could actually add content to the district Facebook page. And ours has been successful for about the past 4 months now. It's one of the last things my wife did before she passed away, was to set this up and limit it to 3 people. So we think that maybe that had something to do with it, but we know we're not alone. So I would just encourage you, if you are shut down, come up with a different name and limit who you provide access to.
We work that out by just sharing the website regularly on our private feeds.
Good.
That's like the next best thing. So anybody who might be listening and is in another club, that's the recommendation. Just share your club website in your private feed. That's the best you could do, and just tag and share.
Share away. Absolutely. Yes. Next slide.
There you go.
So October 5th, we've got, because 14, and this probably doesn't apply to too many of you since most of you are out of the country, but we do within the district, we are having a day with the Catawba River Keeper. Protecting our environment, sustaining our environment is really important. It's critical. And in this district, 9 of our 14 counties do have some kind of intersectionality with the Catawba River. So we are going to partner with them on October 5th to help clean up the Catawba at certain points. I did send out sign-up geniuses to our club presidents for this. So next slide. Our foundation celebration is going to be held for the first time this year in Gastonia, for the first time ever in Gastonia. It's going to be at the conference center. President Stephanie will be in attendance. And I'm thrilled about that. We're going to dedicate a peace pole at the Gastonia Pavilion, and we're just really looking forward to this event. It's rare when you can get a Rotary International president to actually come to your district and participate in events. So we are thrilled to have Stephanie there. She's also going to plant a tree at the Mint Museum. And that is really cool because this is a tradition of this district. Stephanie will be the 9th or 10th Rotary International president to plant a tree at the Mint Museum. And the Mint Museum actually has a tree that was planted, I believe, in 1939 by Paul Harris. So if you're ever at the Mint Museum in Charlotte, it's just kind of nice to see that history right in front of you. Next slide.
Just to confirm, that's the Randolph campus for the Mint Museum. I assume it's not the Uptown.
Yes, I believe it is the Randolph one. Yes, I'll have to confirm that, David, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I was actually there when President Shaker was there, but I'm fairly certain it's the Randolph Street.
Thank you.
Sure. In January 2025, we are going to be working with a variety of Title I schools throughout the district to provide shoes for them from Samaritan's Feet. I volunteered there many times. Samaritan's Feet's just a wonderful nonprofit here in Charlotte that works with a variety of organizations. They've provided shoes to over 120 different countries, to every state in this country. And part of the proceeds go back to families in Africa for this initiative, and helps to provide EVOC shoes for children there. So we're looking forward to making an impact statement by providing shoes to at least 1,000 children within the district, and building their self-confidence a little bit. Next slide.
Can I ask you a question about this?
Sure.
Is this used shoes that people donate, or is this raising money to buy new shoes?
So these are all new shoes that they will be getting, new shoes and a pair of Bombas socks. What we do is they are charging us $30 for each pair of shoes that we're going to be donating. And we've got one club. I'm happy to say we've got one club in Union County. They've agreed to adopt an entire Title I elementary school and they will be providing 525 pair of shoes to this Title I school. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. So we're going to meet our goal of 1,000 for sure.
Great.
Next slide. District conference is going to be in Statesville this year. First time again that this will ever happen. And my reasoning for keeping it close is I want to keep it affordable for people who are living within the district. We want to keep it close. We want to keep it affordable. So we'll be in Statesville. We're cutting it down from 3 days to 2. We also want people to have some of their weekend back. It's going to be a fun time. So next slide.
And we'll be presenting there. I'm just
possibly if we can get if we can figure out how to do this, I would love for y'all to have a presentation on PIPR. I mean, I think it's something that would benefit.
I'm happy to announce that we just activated 2 new members for presentation to Assistant Governor Peter Bagley.
Fantastic.
They were just activated 10 minutes ago.
Fantastic. Wonderful. And then finally, June 21st through the 25th, we've got our Rotary International Convention coming up. This is going to be in Calgary this year, so fairly close. It's only a plane ride away for some of us here in the Charlotte area. It's going to be fun. If you've never been to an international convention, it is the coolest thing in the world. It's like being at a little United Nations get together because we've got people from so many different places from all over the world, speaking so many different languages, but being immersed in that activity it's really just absolutely one of the coolest things I've ever done. I've had the good fortune to attend 4 of these, and they're just a blast. So that's all I have.
that was a lot.
Yeah, that was a lot. There's a lot to get in there, but at least you have a copy of the presentation now. So
I like this, a magical word in any language.
Yeah, yes. And if you click 2 more times, you'll see that's my thank you, and keeping it real with the magic of Rotary. So many thanks to you, Patty, Marty, for giving me this opportunity. And I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Okay, let me just stop sharing now, stop presenting. And well, I did have, we'll hand it over to our club members. Go ahead, open your mic. Just go ahead and say your name and any questions. And then we'll go over to Clubhouse because our Clubhouse members and guests are just so nice that they've joined us and listened in. So anybody here, go ahead.
I just want to echo and thank you to the PR crew for the amazing job they do on the PR, the website, Instagram. That was one of my biggest attractions to the club. And also, as far as the district grants, I am in with what DG Kevin said. It's so important to be able to tap into those grant fundings. I've done it for my club in the past. I'm trained on the system and I can do it in DACDB. So if we want to look for a project where we can utilize a district grant, I know there's deadlines for applications and so forth, but I'm happy to be able to do that for the club.
And Kay, that's a great point. The time period for this year is past, but it's going to open up again next year. And I would really encourage you to do that. Just identify a couple of people to work on that and then make the application. It's not complicated.
Thank you. And with my past district DG, we had 2 rounds. Like the first round was for everybody, and the second round was for the round where people did not take advantage of it.
Yes.
There was additional funding. Is that the same for this district?
We only have 1 round currently, but that's
Okay.
subject to change with each district governor.
Okay. Thank you.
So, yeah, thank you.
And before we go over to Clubhouse, I do have a question regarding the grants. So you focused on the district grants. What would be the motive of that rather than the World Fund that seems so large and eye-catching?
The district grants are typically smaller than the global grants. And I'm not saying that it's not an either or proposition. You can always apply for a global grant. They're just a little bit more cumbersome, many more questions to answer, but you can use even though district grants are typically smaller, they're just easier to accommodate and to facilitate because they're coming about as a direct result of your contributions to the annual fund. You are free to go for anything though, Patty.
Okay.
It's just
Well, I
that
just wanted to know what would be an incentive. So that is an incentive, though. The easy way is always, an incentive.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. so,
like
so
you
thank
get more funding with the global grants as well.
but a little bit more
More
work.
funding is yes,
A
absolutely.
little more work.
Our global grant.
I've looked into that as before for our club, but going after a global grant, it's a lot more involved. You have to
Yeah.
check certain boxes. It has to be done in a very particular way.
But Aaron, we were successful.
400,000 for a global grant, something like that, right? That's the maximum amount allotted.
Yes.
That
Yep.
we were successful, Kevin and Aaron, if you remember, 25,000, I believe, was it, Marty, through district granting. So it was very successful, the district grant, and I was really excited because we had great contributions, and it was for the Ukraine, and it was beautiful work that we were able to accomplish.
Yeah, that was part of that. There was a disaster
Yes.
fund. Yeah.
That was great. I mean, not the disaster, but the funding was
Right.
great because it was really, it was expeditious,
Mhm.
there was, it was one application. Next thing you know, we were getting funded. People were getting their emergency kits. We did great work there. So I'm going to throw it over to Clubhouse. Marty, are you available to, I don't know how this is going to work with Clubhouse. I'm not sure we could hear everybody through, but let's try it out. Anybody on Clubhouse have any questions for District Governor Kevin Kendrick, and anything you want to share?
Quite a few comments on Clubhouse. Right now, about a dozen people on, 31 comments so far. David Evans is on there, said an amazing experience he was sharing about the Jennifer Hudson show. Carolina Marin is on. Marin is on from Chile. Isti Akdoza is on from Bangladesh today. Agata, our attorney in Poland, Agata Smolarek, is on today on Clubhouse right now. Kimberly Smith, I believe I mentioned already. I'm getting old. And yeah, Bella is on. Bella Rigby, we love her so much, from Atlanta. Amazing Bella. Bella Unplugged. Can't beat it. Any questions, you guys, that you would like to type into the room chat for Governor Kevin Kendrick? Carolina said, thank you so much. Jean Russo of Texas and Speaking Success Secrets said, beautiful presentation. Any questions, anybody, that you would like to put in chat, or I can turn you up and you can ask a question out loud if you would like to.
I must say though, I was a little curious about your career, because a lot of our presenters talk about the careers, and of course, it was apropos that you taught us a little bit about all the Rotary stuff. But I was excited. I was like, oh, we're gonna find out about the career side.
I'll have to save that for another presentation.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. 25 years was long enough in the FBI.
But it probably helped you get a lot of resources and discovery. Being an FBI agent, I'm imagining that you can navigate Rotary International real well. Because it's like finding gems there. Oh, could you talk a little bit more about the learning? Because I found the learning great, and there are credited, they have good credentials, right? The Learning Center.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. A little bit more about that, if you can.
It's accessible through My Rotary. So if you have a My Rotary account, you can get into it, and anyone can get in there. It's just a question of accessing My Rotary, going in. They have courses that cover such a variety of areas. So anything that you might have an interest in, whether it's leadership training, whether it's DE&I, whether it's disasters, whether it's grants, there's so much information in the Learning Center, and they are literally growing it every single day. I love talking to the people there. It's actually how I learned that. I actually sent them a question because I wanted to know more about our areas of focus and how Rotary came about determining what the areas of focus are. And the areas of focus are actually they're rather recent innovation. We've got a question from, I know Agatha has raised her hand too, and then there's a question from Jean Russo. But the areas of focus actually only started in 2007. And of our current 7 areas, the oldest one is actually peace and conflict resolution. Came about as a result of the Rotary International Convention in Houston, Texas in 1914. And it was when Rotarians at that time, primarily Rotarians from Hamilton, Ontario in Canada, got together and they composed a resolution for all governments in the world to consider not going to war. This was, of course, in the run-up to World War I. This was before the assassination of Archduke Francis Ferdinand in Austria. So it was before all of that. This was in July of 1914. So to understand that Rotary was asking for world leaders to embrace peace at that time was really insightful for me. But I learned that from talking to the people who run the Learning Center.
Wow. Beautiful. I found it really great too.
2 questions. The first I'll throw over to Jean Russo of Texas and Speaking Success Secrets.
Hello. Thank you so much, Marty and Patty and Kevin. I truly just want to make a comment. This was so rich. And I'm sorry, I'm hearing an echo. I hope you could hear me okay.
Yes.
I wanted to just share with you that the knowledge and the history and the stories are truly, it's about the people touching our hearts. And as a Rotarian, I am new. I am learning about it, and I am embracing just the culture and our leadership so much. And I thank each one of our leaders. The question I have is with regards to adopt a Title I school. Patty or Marty, are we already involved in that, or can we just pick up, or do we have to wait until 2025?
Wait, I'm not sure.
She's asking about Title I schools and working with schools in that regard. For the shoes program.
New shoes and socks.
I believe that was in January. I'm going by memory now, but I believe that was in January.
January 2025. But I think her question was, are we involved? Are you all involved with any Title I schools now?
No.
Is it something that perhaps our district can look at a later date? But that would be a wonderful way. It is about the children, and there's so many other services that we are doing, and I want to be able to support what we can. And as our members, being a member, I truly believe, I've been in a lot of organizations, but Rotary International by far, oh my goodness, this is above and beyond exemplary. It truly is, because we're not observers. I think that is the key. It is, as Marty knows, and Patty and everyone else, it is service before self. Yes. And the stories that are shared from our people doing the service, as well as those on the receiving end, they just touch the heart, and I think that is the magic. So thank you so much, Kevin, for this phenomenal presentation.
Well, thank you, Jean. And you're absolutely right. There's such a need in Title I schools throughout. I mean, not just in this district, but there's such a great need, especially when we can.
We're not able to hear Kevin at this time.
My mic was muted.
Okay.
Yeah, my mic was muted. So yeah.
I see Carolina's there. Hello, Carolina.
What I wanted to say to follow up on your question for the schools down there, Gene, is we have a lot of members, and Agata is also asking the similar question right now. We have a lot of members that live all over the world.
Yeah.
And so they'll get involved with what they're interested in and then come back to the club and say, here's a poster that I developed. I'm going to start working with the floods. I'm going to start working with these schools. So the floods in Poland, the schools in Texas. And I want the club to jump in and start helping with this. And I'm on site. And so then we start to fester and figure out what's going on and what we need to do and how we can support financially or help. And so that really is the impetus of cranking it all up. And that's what we've seen happen in, Ukraine, but then also Turkey, and our money and filming and donations in Puerto Rico, Florida, Hawaii, with live television shows that we have filmed and broadcast in Hawaii, Puerto Rico, Florida, Turkey, also Ukraine. So think along those lines of how and what you want to do. And then just let us know with like a poster. Aaron, would you like to talk about your feelings and what you decided to do with Dr. Pauline, our former president, and how you and Patty worked in New York and how you started? You're a good lighthouse, Aaron.
Thanks. And Marty, I forgot to mention that we were quick to respond on the Pakistan flood crisis as well. We were immediately contacting clubs there to try to coordinate who's active, who's not, and assist them in getting grants and awareness.
Over 2 million.
You know, it was hard to do because some of these clubs don't really update their websites, so I had to just do like grunt skip tracing work to track some of these guys down. Like a friend of a friend, I know a guy who knows
same
a guy.
thing in Morocco. When we did the
phone.
donations in Morocco and Algeria, we had to crawl and dig and ferret around as gophers, trying to contact clubs through Facebook sites and extinct governors' sites that they had built. And after 5, 6, 9 clubs, immediate contact within 2 hours in Morocco with the Casablanca club. We had stuff cranking and rolling, but it's very difficult to help them and to get involved. It's Rotary's a little bit sluggish. And I have to sometimes tell people that we're not the Red Cross. We are not a disaster response team that has airplanes that fly in with parachutists. And we don't start unloading 18-wheelers and forklifts. That's not really... Rotary does do some of that, but we're not an immediate disaster response agency like Red Cross. So, but go ahead, Aaron.
So it's not easy. For instance, we have a club member that lives in Chile, Carolina, who's on Clubhouse right now. So, and a lot of people haven't covered this, but there were a month or 2 months worth of fires down there.
Mm-hmm.
We knew about it. Our club knew about it within 15 minutes of the first fire being set. And the day after that, I was immediately contacting clubs down there to see what their response is, what's needed, where it's needed, etc. That's what's so great about Rotary is it's like literally the sun never sets on us. We're everywhere. But just sometimes it's hard to make contact internationally because of, websites not being updated, social media is not updated, etc. But it is possible. And I was able to make contact with several clubs down there to figure out exactly what's needed and what's going on. And Marty's right, we're not necessarily that disaster response team. I mean, if I had it my way, it would be different. I would have the Globemaster loaded and we're gone. We're in the air, we're on the way, but it works a little different.
I've said many times that I wish Rotary's disaster response fund was a little bit more nimble than what it is, because right now when you contribute to the disaster relief fund, you are actually donating to the general fund. It's rare when Rotary says we're going to identify particular incidents as disasters, and they did do that for Turkey. They have done it for Ukraine. But otherwise, when you make a donation to that disaster fund, you're just donating to the general fund and not necessarily for a specific disaster unless Rotary has designated it as a specific disaster response venue.
Thank you. It's good to know those details because, you know, sometimes it gets a little confusing with the World Fund, Disaster Fund, Polio Fund, District Fund. You know, sometimes we just need to hear it over and over again. So
Exactly.
we understand it.
And I'll tell you again, the learning center, Patty, is a great place to learn about the differences in all of those, because they do have that under the foundation training.
I did see that you also could learn how to go ahead and do fundraising and learn about fundraising. So I have already started a few courses. I love it that you could do it at your own pace.
Yes,
you know, so
Yep.
and I have done also to work with the youth because I would like to, you know, again, this is one of the projects that I'm going to be sharing. I didn't even put it on your form yet because it was a new discovery, but I would like to work with schools. Not sure if with RILA or the Rotaract. However, creating a club for kids under the title "Nothing About Us Without Us." And I know Marty and Dawn McCarthy and Jeannie could speak more on it, but it's about, you know, parent alienation and having a club for kids that they could keep a diary. This way they have a safe space. And it's not counseling. It's just like peer-to-peer club that kids could go to write in a diary. And that's the concept. And again, we're still putting all the pieces together, but I would love to see this come to life.
What a great idea.
Yeah, thank you
I
so
love
much.
that.
Collaboration, I can't take all the credit, but I think also it's a great idea because it's something necessary, and there is something in the system that's not working, and this is really an avenue that I think would fill the gaps without having any of those like, oh, you can't give them therapy, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that. Well, kids, as a human resource, you know, counselor, you know, it is the human right to be able to, you know, write your feelings down.
Yep,
You know,
exactly.
so
That's-
the diary club under the Nothing About Us Without Us that has been existing since the 1500s. Actually, I
Wow.
learned.
Love it.
So I think we're wrapping it up. Again, this was Kevin Kendrick, District Governor of North Carolina, number 7680. We are so excited to have you as our guest presenter, speaker, teacher today in our club. We are excited and looking forward to doing more work together. And any final words or thoughts, Kevin, or anybody else after you?
Patty, I just wanted to encourage people that it is election season. So we're working on, of course, the 2026 to 2027 nominations. What you're going to see from the president is she will put out a Google Sheet where you can only select one person to vote for. And then in accordance with our bylaws, on the day of the elections being November 5th for the presidency of 2026, 2027, we do have a 96-hour digital cooling off period in accordance with our bylaws. And what that means is for 4 days, anyone is allowed to continue voting. So the vote is not tallied and cut off at midnight, you know, on the 5th. In this club, our bylaws has, you know, a vote that will occur, but it also is required that 96 hours or 4 days be allowed for people to digitally vote in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order. So you'll get that email, and then we have that typically double checked by two presidents who contact each person to confirm privately, did you vote and is this the way you voted? And they confirm with two separate presidents, yes, that is true. That's how I voted. That's how we check our vote for fraud. And then it's required also, don't forget, in this club, according to the bylaws, we vote for the sergeant at arms in this club because this club's bylaws require the sergeant at arms is not allowed to be appointed by the president. So there's two elections that occur every year in November. And this is coming up. If you'd like to be nominated, ask a friend to nominate you, and then please roll out to the street with your video that you'll make. It could be as simple as just recording a video about your goals and what you would like to do to lead this club, holding your phone like this, or you could make a video with a campaign song and graphics. And some people don't want to make a video. They just want to type up what their goals for this club will be and why you should vote for them. So we do have some limited engagement for campaigning. It's not like commercials and stuff that you're being bombarded with right now. But if you would like to express yourself as to your goals to take this club forward in a direction, I think we heard some great ideas today. It's about time that we form a committee to start to capture all the cash that is owed to us on district grants. We've waited our 3 years. We've put some cash in. It's time to go on ahead and tap into that. And I would be guessing at how to do that. I've never done a district grant. I've only done global grants. So I know we have experts on here, in this club that know exactly what to do. And we probably shouldn't, like Kevin says, let that money disappear and go away.
I wanted to touch on one thing that Kevin brought up in his presentation about, getting new members and membership retention. And I feel like the best way to do that is our strength is our social media presence and how we market ourselves or brand ourselves. And to build on that, I feel like if we get more guest speakers that have a built-in following, not every single one, but maybe once a month, get somebody who's, pretty famous in certain circles that has a built-in following and try to get them as a guest speaker, because we don't have to promote it. It's already built in. We just have them as a speaker. We're going to get the traffic and maybe get a member or two out of it.
Great point. Yep.
That's true.
It gets, every once in a while get something that's not necessarily a speaker that's going to talk about, I did this and that and set up a water tank in Africa, or maybe he did something a little more exciting, and that would bring in, at the end of the day, it's marketing, it's branding.
Yep.
We have to play to that to get more members and retain them.
I was going to ask our past president, Dr. Pauline, to comment on
that. I apologize, I wasn't listening. We were talking about engaging I'm still pleased with our passion project presenters over the last year, and I think we should keep on encouraging people to be really vocal about what their passion projects are. I'm working with Shankar still with this to spread the word and to have some kind of maybe put it into our PR on LinkedIn, following up all the passion projects. So I don't know whether you saw that, Kevin. We engaged a lot of our members in presenting their own what they're passionate about. But now we need to work out how to combine them so that we get more like a passion project panel, so we can actually then interact with them. So I'm working on that with Shankar in the background. I know Shankar's on here somewhere.
And upcoming president, Ritu Chopra.
Hi, Marty. Kevin, first of all, thank you. It was really informative presentation. I want to share with you, in our club, a collective talent in our community is excellent. People here, they do their 100% plus when it comes to our meeting, coming together and stuff. So we, as a passionate team, we are open to ideas. And I know Dr. Pauline does, Marty has done it, Patty is doing. I am open to meeting other club members, seeing what's being done outside and see how it aligns with what we are doing. The same thing. Be invited, invite other speakers from different clubs, and be invited to share our ideas, and just to bring collective energy together.
Love it. Yes. And we should be collaborating with other clubs and learning from other clubs, and having other clubs have the opportunity to learn from us. I mean, it is literally a team sport. So I definitely encourage that. And I love what Dr. Pauline said about your passion projects. That is great. I'm going to look for that on LinkedIn because it's what we should be doing. I just love that. I love the information sharing. It's how we learn. It's how we grow.
Yeah, and I had nominated Istiak Doza just now and received a second for that nomination for the presidency from Dr. Pauline Crawford. So I know there's a transcript of this, but I will need to check with him and see if he accepts that nomination. That is one of the required steps. I know he's on right now, but it's pretty late in Bangladesh. And Shankar, what's going on in India today?
Well, lots of things, and I was absorbing Kevin's, all the information that Kevin shared. Very, very motivating. And as desired, I'm collaborating for passion projects. The reason because I also know that from passion to purpose, that's what Rotary Club is all about. And by understanding that individual discovery of why one is there in the Rotary, that makes all the difference to bring new members so that you can share your story and tell the locals. So my passion is also to bring a lot of Indian Rotary members into the 7680. And I'm working to see how that presence and that marketing can be done locally so that I'll talk to the, from the top guys in the business to the local civic bodies and individuals and women, of course. So this is what my passion is, to bring on to what everyone else in the leadership is doing. So I will seek everybody's cooperation as we go along, because if you came in and talked to a few entrepreneurs and or my friends and women entrepreneurs, it will be of great help to make that difference. So I will turn to Marty, Pauline, and Patty, and the rest of all of us to see how this can be built onto the Rotary 7680. There's a lot of potential here. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you, buddy, and welcome to our two new members today. We'll get more information out about them. Patty, back over to you.
Well, again, I want to thank you. I'm going to be closing out the room. I want to say again, thank you to everybody that joined us. We had a couple quiet members here, just taking it all in. Last call. Open up your mic if you want to share anything. Okay, I will be closing out the room and I'll be playing our song so you could just leave as you hear it. I'm just excited about it. I'm excited about, again, all that we're doing. Our club is growing. Women are taking over. Dr. Pauline, you're welcome. You're welcome. Dr. Pauline is saying thank you, Kevin, for joining us today. Definitely appreciate it.